It's the same old story, same old song and dance, my friend. That's the same old story, same old song and dance, my friend. Got you with cocaine, found with yo-yo.
Well, a better try, but same result. Same old song and dance for the Browns coming up short. Welcome to the Doghouse, your inside look at the Cleveland Browns. I'm Andy McNamara alongside Browns insider from WKYC Sports in Cleveland, Matt Florjancic. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays, everybody. Hope you had a great Christmas and New Year's right around the corner. Matt, just like Johnny Manziel, you are playing sick today. How you holding up?
I'm doing all right. I'm doing better than the Browns did yesterday, so
You know what?
can't complain too much.
At least it was exciting. Like, Matt, we went into the first half down 17-3, and I thought, oh, man, this is going to be an absolute train wreck. Kansas City did not score the rest of the way. They were held scoreless for 2 straight quarters. I cannot remember the last time any Browns defense did that to another team. That is spectacular. Johnny's accuracy was horrendous. He set a Browns record for rushing yards by a quarterback with 108, and if he was just a bit more accurate on some throws in blustery wins, let's face it, 40-click wins is no joke, but if he could have just been a bit more accurate on a few of those later throws, the Browns would have pulled off the upset of the year. They were that close.
Yeah, and it would have spoiled the potential spoiler anyway to a playoff hope, but that's not the case now. With the win, the Chiefs got in. The defense manned up. I will give them credit. That is the first half of competitive football I've seen out of the defense. Really, in my opinion, pretty much all year, sans the Titans game and then the San Francisco game against inferior competition. But against an actual offense that scores points, that was the best performance of the year. And unfortunately, it'll probably come a little too late for the Browns and potentially for the coaches as well.
Well, Matt, you can only also take so much out of good efforts in losses. Bottom line is you lost again. They're 3-12. You can put up good efforts, certainly a better effort. So I guess my question to you is, and we'll get into our Twitter question at AndyMC81 at Matt Florjancic in a moment. But my question for you, Matt, is the way the defense has played over the last 3 weeks has been clearly revved up, has gone up several notches. So when you look at the season as a whole now, does it go to the fact that the players just weren't playing hard for Jim O'Neill, couldn't figure out the scheme? Like, are things clicking now? Why right now are they playing better against good opponents?
I wish I knew the answer to it, and I wish we could have figured it out a hell of a lot sooner.
Yeah.
I'd like to say it's pride, but damn it, you should have been playing with pride a hell of a lot longer ago.
Well, yeah, when you had a playoff shot.
You're professionals, you got to act like it. And unfortunately, this team has not acted like professionals for the better part of the season, and it's only now in week 16, game 15, that they decide to play with heart and to play hard. And I don't understand, why it took so long. At least they gave us one good effort. I will tell you this, Nate Orchard had a nice ball game for his team, and he could be a nice building block. But they're old at a lot of spots, and they're going to have a boatload of holes to plug in the boat before this defense becomes legit. And unfortunately, I don't know that Jim O'Neill is going to be around to see it.
No, and that leads in perfectly to our Twitter question at AndyMC81 at Matt Florjancic here on the Doghouse. And the question is, who survives after this season? At the end of the year, who survives? Mike Pettin and his coaching staff, Ray Farmer, or neither? We'll get to your tweets in the Barkhoff a little bit later on, again at AndyMC81 at Matt Florjancic. The Doghouse brought to you in part by DraftPot.com. DraftPot.com, terrific daily fantasy website. You can do NFL, basketball, hockey, whatever you like. And they have a fan mode and a GM mode. Fan mode, no salary cap. No salary cap. You can play the best players all you want, or go to the traditional GM mode as well. When you sign up, type in the promo area Browns, the promo code Browns, and they will match up to $300 of your first deposit. So great site. Give it a try. Promo code Browns. So, Matt, that's the question right now. It's, as Mike Pettin says over and over again, it is a bottom line business. And the bottom line for the Browns is they're 3-12. So I'll ask you the question. Who survives? Pettin, Farmer, or neither?
I don't see how either of them do, truthfully. You can say that the players are not very good, and you can say that goes to GM Ray Farmer, but then you see the way the players execute on the field, and that speaks directly to Mike Pettin. If you're going to get rid of one, in my opinion, it better be Farmer. And if you're going to get rid of your GM, you might want to let the new guy pick his own coach.
Because then if you don't do that, Matt, if you do get rid of Farmer, let's say, and keep Pettin, you are then having the same situation where there probably isn't going to be unity between the front office and the coaching staff, and the GM will want to bring in his own guy. So you have to make that clear break, because it's exactly as you put it. Farmer put this team with no wide receivers, the offense, in a terrible position. Then you look at the defense, which is Mike Pettin's strong suit, had the same playmakers, per se, as last year with some additions, and could not get anything out of them. So it's a perfect storm of incompetence between these two, I feel. And I agree. I don't think neither. We've said it on the show. If Ray Farmer comes back as general manager, he took the fall on Techscape for Jimmy Haslam, and Jimmy Haslam drafted Johnny Manziel. That is the only way he comes back. I've heard rumors too, Matt, maybe he would be GM by title only in a reduced role, and maybe Kaharick comes, the advisor he brought in to run things. Like, are you hearing anything kind of circling around the building?
I'm not hearing anything, and that's what makes it even more confusing, because usually by now we're talking about, okay, coaching candidates, and now it's kind of Jimmy hasn't said anything, so is there going to be a change? You know, you're kind of in that limbo spot right now. You really don't know.
No.
And if it's going to be up to Jimmy Haslam to make the changes, and he keeps Ray Farmer over Mike Pettin, then clearly we have our answer of who won the power struggle, and that means Alex Shiner ain't going nowhere either. And that's part of the problem, too, is you have too many marketing, communications guys who are very good on the business side trying to make football decisions, and that usually ends up with what we have, and that's 3-12, likely 3-11 or 3-13 after Sunday.
Now, for those keeping track, in the draft positioning, the Browns, this is what has to happen for the Browns to get the first overall pick in the 2016 NFL entry draft. Tennessee has to lose this week. If Tennessee wins, Tennessee has to win for the Browns to get that top spot, and the Browns have to lose. If Tennessee loses and the Browns lose, or pretty much if Tennessee does not win, they will have the first overall pick, and the Browns will be picking number 2. Now, we're going to get in-depth with our college quarterback breakdown, rankings throughout the offseason. There'll be plenty of time for that. Matt and I will go over many positions of top picks, have some mock drafts in the offseason as well. But, Matt, I want the Browns to beat the Steelers, but at the same time, it would be that much more enticing to get a top GM, football czar, or a head coach if you can say, hey, look, we have the first overall pick. We're starting from scratch. Build this team in your vision. That looks a lot better than a number 2, although that is still obviously a pretty high pick.
Well, the good thing is Tennessee doesn't need a quarterback, which likely means that if they don't take a guy like Joey Bosa who gets after the quarterback, that they're going to trade out of that pick to somebody who does need a quarterback.
Right.
So the Browns really have to be on their P's and Q's and hope that luck just happens to find them. I'm not one to advocate losses, so if we go out and we finish off the Steelers' playoff hopes, I'm okay with that.
That'd be nice.
I don't know that starting with a quarterback from scratch is going to be good enough either. I don't think they have the structure around the quarterback. I'm looking at this roster, and I honestly can say, offensively, I might keep, out of the 23 guys they have, I might keep a half a dozen.
That's fair.
And that's basically 1 tight end, 3 linemen, 1 running back, and maybe Josh McCown is my emergency quarterback because he showed that no matter what, he can still get the job done. But I don't believe in this team. I don't believe in the offense. And I sure as you know what, do not believe in the receiving core.
Oh.
young Ray Farmer has put on this field for this team. It's absolutely pathetic. It's embarrassing. It's disgusting. And on top of that, it's just not fun to watch.
No, it really isn't. And that's why Johnny had to run for his life yesterday, setting a Browns QB record. And I've heard mixed reviews on this. Okay, hey, this is the coaching staff in the second half saying, Johnny, you know what? Go out, do your thing. Because there are no weapons on offense outside of Gary Barnidge. There is nothing for him to work with. Gary, 47 yards yesterday. He's just shy of 1,000, isn't he, Matt? Is he? He didn't get to.
He's knocking on the door for sure, and it'd be nice to see be only the third tight end in Browns history to do it, besides Hall of Famer Ozzie Newsome and Kellen Winslow Jr., who, when he was on the field, he was damn good.
Oh, sure.
When he was off, well, he was a little bit of a knucklehead. The good thing is you don't have to worry about that with Gary Barnidge. He's always going to be a good representative of your organization and a guy that you can build a foundation around offensively. Didn't know what to expect when they let Jordan Cameron go, but I will give Gary Barnidge a hell of a lot of credit because he has done a wonderful job making anything out of nothing. And he deserves everything that he gets. Should have been to the Pro Bowl. More than likely he'll get there as an alternate that gets selected, depending on who makes the Super Bowl. So I think it'll be an honor deserved and one that is well overdue.
Now, Browns fans, remember this as well. This administration, this front office, did not bring in Gary Barnidge. It was Rob Chudzinski who brought him in from his OC days in Carolina. Brought him in as a blocking tight end when Jordan Cameron was here. Ray Farmer's answer to getting rid of Jordan Cameron was Rob Hauser. He's not here anymore. That is another indictment on this front office and how bad they were. But, Matt, when you take in Johnny's performance yesterday, and I mentioned 13 for 32, 136 yards, no touchdowns, a pick, but ran for 108 yards, you cannot play like that every week and survive in the National Football League. But that being said, the passion he showed, the gamesmanship, that he was not going to give up. And at the end of the game, when the officials were slow to get the ball back in, when Darius Jennings could not get out of bounds, you can blame that partially on a play call, maybe two, for not doing one closer to the sidelines. To set up that final play, he slammed his helmet down. That showed me the young man cares. And then they pan to the sideline, and Mike Pettin is laughing. You have your quarterback who is pissed off that you're now 3-12, throwing his helmet down, and the head coach is laughing. Matt, that's all I needed to see to say bye-bye Mike Pettin. And for me, I'm bringing Johnny back next year because I think the kid's got some guts.
Well, I mean, we'll see what the offseason holds for Johnny. There was a video that surfaced on Busted Coverage late last night of him having another party over the weekend. So we'll hear on a conference call here in the next couple hours with Mike Pettin, if the team has any comment or not regarding young Johnny. The competitive fire is there. That's never actually been the question about him.
No.
Truthfully, he is a competitive guy. And unfortunately, though, his style of play is not going to lead to a long career because if he has to run for 100 and some yards every game for the Browns to even have a chance, they're in some serious trouble. I mean, let's just put it that way.
But get him some weapons, Matt. Get him some weapons.
Get anybody, whoever's
Please.
the quarterback, you have to get weapons.
Right.
And Rob Hauser, we had a term or a phrase for him, in training camp. We thought, man, this kid looks good, looks the part, but he looks like Tarzan and plays like Jane. He wasn't very good, and we could see that as soon as the first plays were run in training camp. We're like, this is the guy that's going to replace Jordan Cameron, who was a Pro Bowler? I don't think so. This guy won't even get on the field.
Wow.
And he ended up getting IR'd and then released, and now he was signed by another team. And, it's just awful indictment of the scouting department. And that's really the key. I know a lot of guys on the scouting department, a lot of them are great guys, but that's where the Browns need to make more changes. They can't have guys that have been here for 5, 6, 7, 8 years because clearly something is wrong in the talent evaluation portion of this team. It's to say it's not there is kind of a joke. It's non-existent, and I'm wondering why they spend so much money and all these draft analysis when they don't register anything and it doesn't work.
No, Matt. So here's the problem, though. If the Browns get the first overall pick, second pick, whatever, the trouble is that the scouting staff cycle goes draft to draft. So to make full-scale changes, those won't happen until after the next draft, which means
Exactly.
you will
Which
still
means
have
that
the same
this
people.
staff is picking.
Yes. Yeah, like that's